or Jose will. Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. We're here with the beautiful Chang and we're here to discuss Tottenham. Tottenham are our beloved team. As everybody knows, we've got some important games coming up. And Chang, how are you today?
I'm doing a lot better. I'm doing so much better from last Sunday when I was still feeling very much under the weather, which is why I had to take some extreme measures to sort of ventilate the fever out of my head. But thankfully, a week later on, things look to be on the up for me in terms of my health and also for Spurs. So plenty to get underway on with this show. So without further ado, it's back to you, Queen Ellie, and looking forward to a great show today.
Yeah, I'd just like to ask you, Chang, what was your method of getting rid of this fever? Because a lot of our viewers are suffering, and we've got a lot of nice weather in England at the moment. I don't know about in your country, but there's been some nice weather. What was your secret to getting rid of it so quickly?
So there's no real secret apart from maybe some cough medication. Medication, lots of antibiotics and some aspirins to go with whatever ailment. But if you must know, I think the single best remedy for any sort of ailment you have is sleep. Lots and lots and lots of sleep. And I'm just so glad that despite the workload that I have over here in my construction office, I'm still able to clock in between 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. the following morning to get my 8 hours sleep. And that played a massive part in me getting back.
You're a man of all seasons. That's what you are. Anyway, we'll crack on with the show, right? And the first banner, well, first of all, we'll cover the chat, obviously. What I'll do half the chat, you do half the chat, Chang. All right, so I'll start off. Shem Chan, what a man. He's first straight in. Good morning, Mr. Bossum Jose, and the youngest looking old type monk.
Tibetan. He's a Tibetan monk. He's calling me a Tibetan monk.
Mr. Chang. Hope you're both well today. Well, it's me today, Shem Tang. But yeah, that's it. And oh my God, it's the beautiful Queen Ellie. Thank you for the beautiful. I like that. Right. And then we got Nita. Good morning, Queen Ellie, Chang, and chat. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you as well, Nita. And thank you very much for joining us. And then we've got the one and only Chris Agaba. Big Ellie and Mr. Chang, have a good Labour Day tomorrow, Mr. Chang. Oh, okay. Labour Day tomorrow for Mr. Chang. Woo! Come on. So, what does this Labour Day involve then?
Say that again, Queen Ellie.
What
You were saying.
Because Chris saying have a good Labour Day tomorrow, Mr. Chang.
So there are some parts of Southeast Asia, or even some parts of Asia for that matter, that celebrate Labor Day on the 5th of May instead of the 1st of May, as is customary anywhere else in the world, be it in the States or over in Britain or even in Europe. So thankfully over here in Southeast Asia, we still celebrate Labor Day on the 1st of May every year. So
Okay.
this Labor Day might only be applicable to maybe say the Indians or the Pakistanis, the Bangladeshis, maybe even the Koreans or Japanese. But over here in Southeast Asia, as far as I'm aware of, and as far as I'm concerned, the Labor Day of every year is always on the 1st of
Yeah.
May.
So you've already had it. But you see, you come to this channel, Tel Cockerel, and you get educated people. You do. And then we've got James Flower. Good morning. Good morning, James. He's up in Norwich. Good luck to Norwich. I think they won yesterday against Cardiff, didn't they? Well done. Yeah. Yeah, so Chang, now we go on to the first banner. Liverpool and the fallout. Right. So we got battered 5-1. And it was like we weren't trying really. Okay, we got the early goal with Solanke, and it was a very good corner. And he headed it in very well, but then we just capitulated. What was your take on the game and the following fallout?
Well, to be very honest with you, Queen Ellie, I have yet to even watch a single minute of replay, and neither do I know of who scored for the Liverpudlians. But I did read somewhere that it was a James Maddison corner
Yep.
that allowed Solanke to rise high above the Liverpool defense that gave us that early lead. And I think on hindsight, it was such a relief for me to have not watched the game. I think it kicked off at something like midnight.
12:30.
Yeah, it was something at midnight over here in Southeast Asia.
Was it 2
And
o'clock?
I was well asleep by then, having just only done episode 8 of Jose and Chang a few hours earlier. But I will say this about our performances away from home, and I really was hoping that we would give a good account of ourselves. I hope we did. I still haven't even seen the statistics in terms of the possession, the shots on target, shots off target, the cards that both sides picked up. So I can't comment too much on this trashing, if I to be completely honest with you, Queen Ellie. But I still am proud that we got our goal away from home, which is a rarity given how we've been floundering, in the forwards department of late. And Solanke getting, himself on the score sheet after that much needed away penalty away at
Yeah.
Frankfurt. I think that was something to for him to add to his tally. But other than that, I think work still needs to be done, Queen Ellie, on our defense. And this is something I will revisit much later on as the show progresses when we preview West Ham and my
Yeah.
expectations for our London derby away at the London Stadium.
Yeah.
Hopefully we will be able to build on something today to take away with us to Norway come Thursday night. Having said that, back to you, Queen Ellie.
Yeah, I agree with you. We've got to work on our defence. But the goal by Solanke, it must have given him confidence. Because when he went to actual Liverpool and played for them, I think he only scored 1 in 20 odd games. So he equalled the record just in 1 game. So well done, Solanke, for getting that goal. And it was a brilliant header. But you know what? When I saw us go into the lead, I was just waiting for the equaliser. It was like inevitable that it was going to happen. All right. And when it did, and then it was just floodgates for Liverpool. And I believe, I think so, it was Salah who was taking selfies with the fans during the match. I've never ever seen that. Selfies with the fans, Chang, honestly, but it was like it's like we just gave up after the goal and we just let the floodgates open. But Liverpool are a fantastic side, don't get me wrong. They can batter any team on their day and they're worthy champions, right? But I don't think we should have lost 5-1. It was a bit of a humiliation at the end of the day. And do you know what? We picked ourselves up. We did pick ourselves up in the Bodo game, which we'll cover later. But I thought our general play was very sloppy, and it was like they weren't really trying. It was almost like they were pulling out of tackles not to get injured, which is a good thing in one way, but in another way, it doesn't bode well for the Bodo game. It wouldn't have. That's what I'm saying. Because when you're going into a big match like that, you want to go into it with some sort of momentum, and we fell flat. So yeah, I was very disappointed with our overall performance. But our performances away, Chang, they've been awful, haven't they?
Yeah, and this is why I think I will have to discuss this with you in further detail later on when we preview the 2 p.m. kickoff game against West Ham at the
Yeah,
Olympic Stadium, which I think I will have something to say with regards to our away form and our defense in particular, especially given how we might be in for a very hostile welcome on
yes,
Thursday evening, to say nothing of the e- hostile Londoners, the
yeah,
West Hamers that will be awaiting us away fans and also the team when we take them on in their cup final later on this afternoon. But other than that, honestly, I really am looking forward. For the first time in a long while, Queen Ellie, I actually am looking forward to an away day, not because we have a crucial semi-final on the horizon, but because I feel that something is shifting, something is changing with the way that Big Ange sets the team up and the mentality. This is very important now. The mentality to end the season on a high, so that we may carry this momentum forward into next season. But I'm not going to spoil. I'm not going to spoil the surprise. I will let you carry on with the show. I
yeah,
will have something to say. I will have something to say later on once you are done with this banner. Once you have done with this Liverpool away fixture from last Sunday, I have something to say with regards to our ladies' performance against the very same opposition earlier that day. If you don't know about it, I will brief you in further detail. But yeah, the women's team at least gave us some cheer or something to cheer about on the day that we absolutely got trounced by the Reds.
yeah, yeah. It was. I think it was 2-2, wasn't it, against Liverpool? Yeah, yeah. So what I wanted to mention as well is a few other things about the game. Just before I go to David's lovely message, I thought. I thought we gave look, we didn't give it our all, right? And like you said, Chang, the mentality has to be right going into matches. And I was very surprised that we went into the match with Bodo with that sort, because it's the biggest game of our season. So you don't even have to motivate the players. But I was, because we fell so flat and we came off that pitch really humiliated 5-1. And earlier in the season they battered us 6-3, and we just got the 1-0 victory in the FA in the League Cup, and then we got battered again 4-0. So in those three matches they scored 15 against us, and we've only replied 4 times. Yeah, so that is a big gulf. And do you know what? I don't think we're that bad a team in regards to letting in 15 against Liverpool, because other clubs have gone there, Chang, and got really good results. I mean, Forest beat them. Fulham got a 2-2 draw and beat them at home 3-2. So we shouldn't be losing by that massive margin. It was shameful, right? And I for one, um, I think our away form has to improve more next season when we start next season. If we go on like we are now, but you never know, it might be a new manager. We don't know. Let's see what happens in the Europa, and then we'll go from there. Yeah. So bring up David's comment. That's lovely. So David Clark, welcome, welcome, welcome. If Liverpool hadn't removed a lot of their best players during the second half, the score would have been 7 or 8. So in the last 20 minutes, Liverpool went from a football club into a charity. Yeah, and like like I said about the selfie with Salah taking the selfie, it sort of it makes a mockery of what
I
football's about.
If I have something to say about this, Queen Ellie, I think Mr. David Clark might have two. He has 2 points to make here. I don't think it wasn't just Liverpool being charitable on the day when they were quite literally pulling their punches in the second half when they could have easily trounced us. I honestly think that the single biggest charitable side in the Premier League this season has to be Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. You cannot uh, lose to relegation teams like an Ipswich or a Leicester, uh, or even say Southampton. Although we didn't lose to Southampton, but for us to be losing to teams that were relegated this season says a lot about how charitable we are in front of goal. And you need only look at the last three consecutive league games, the way we were just offering ourselves up to Leicester, Nottingham Forest, to Wolverhampton Wanderers,
Yeah,
away on our travels. That I think is a big indictment as to how loose and just how precarious we are, both in possession and without possession. And what really scares me is just how how big of a disappointment we might find ourselves sort of kicking ourselves in the back if we do somehow scrap past Bodo on Thursday night and we make it into the final only to then go out on a whimper because of all these defensive lapses that we've been seeing all season long, and which is why this afternoon's game against West Ham and the Thursday night away game at Norway is going to be season defining in terms of how well we will set ourselves up and possibly set ourselves up for a silverware. So without further ado, Queen Ellie, on to the next chat here. I think this is by Mark from,
yeah.
I think this should be from Mr.
Well,
Mark
you read
Cousins.
this one
I'll be
out,
wrong.
Chang. You
Okay,
read this
so
one out.
if this is Mr. Mark Cousins, a very good Sunday morning to you, Mr. Cousins. He's saying good morning all. We were absolutely abysmal against Liverpool, and I couldn't agree with you more there, Mr. Cousins. To say nothing of the 10-game unbeaten run that we were so that we were probably over enthusiastic about at the beginning of last season, given the way how we were very fortuitous in our 2-1 home win against Liverpool. And you fast forward 18 months or however long it was since that 2-1 win against Liverpool at home, how they've been all over us. They've been battering us both in the cups and also in the league proper. And the gulf in class is just so obvious and so apparent to the point where you even have to ask ourselves, are we even a top four club anymore? Do we even deserve to be top four? With the way we have regressed so much since Pochettino or even Mourinho or Conte left. So this is something that the owners have to work on. But there is a silver lining. There is something positive to be taken from everything. I think we will get into this later on in the show if we are going to bring up some rumors about Paratici or his appointment with Spurs, and I can only hope. I really hope that things do take a turn for the better, because as it stands right now, Queen Ellie, I'll be very honest with you, we are looking less and less of a footballing club with every passing season, and we look more like a tourist attraction and
Yeah, tell me about it.
a
Yeah.
concert destination. We are more of a concert destination now than we are of a footballing venue, and that should and has to rightly stop at some point, Queen Ellie. Having said that, back to you.
Yeah. So, like Mark said, the Two Mark Show, which is a fantastic show. Everybody get over there and subscribe to these two lovely gentlemen. And they do the pub show in the evening as well, which is fantastic and very funny. And he said, we poked the bear and it mauled us. It's true, right? So, well, the poking the bear was scoring the goal early doors with Solanke, and then they just overran us and mauled us. And it should have been 10-1. I agree with you. But the thing is, sometimes in football, right, you lose games. But like Bill Nicholson said, when you win games, you have to win them well. And he said, we at Tottenham have to be the best, not the second best. Well, we're not even the second best even now. We're the 15th best. And we deserve to be where we are because we've been very naive the way we've been set up by Ange Postecoglou. He's done things right, but he's done a lot wrong, right? In my eyes, right? When you set up a football team, you set up a football team to be hard to beat and be attractive at the same time. Yeah, play attractive football, but be hard to beat, right? And I remember Jamie Carragher. He said Tottenham find a way to lose, and we do. And you know what? That Chelsea game, not the Liverpool game, right? Because they were going for the league, and we just gave them the match, literally, right? But that Chelsea game when we went 2-0 up, right? And it was Chelsea game last year that our season imploded as well. But we were 2-0 up, Chang, and then we just took our foot off the gas and we let them panned our goal, and they got the goal before half time. And then you knew in the second half, I could see how the game was going to go before it even happened, right? So it's those sort of moments in season that define how the rest of the season's going to go. And it did. It just capitulated throughout our away form and our home form, losing to Leicester and Ipswich, like you rightly said, relegated teams. We should not be losing to them, right? And we started off the season at Leicester and we absolutely dominated that game in terms of possession. But in terms of goal goal chances, they had just as many as us because we play this system that allows other teams to exploit behind. And okay, high risk, high reward. If you've got the players that can pass like Liverpool players and Manchester City players, but we don't have that. You can see, when we're pressed high, Chang, how we panic. And we've let in quite a few goals from errors leading from the back pass, yeah, where we haven't transitioned the ball to the midfield to the forwards. Yeah, so we've got to be wary of that. And if we're such good coaches, like I read, we've got great coaches at our club. If we're so great, how comes they're not identifying this and putting it straight? Because when you do the coaching drills in the training sessions, you should be working on that. So they should be working on pressing those players to see how they cope with the passing and improve it, so we don't get caught out like that. And it just frustrates me how many points we've lost from naivety and from just general passing. We've got to improve it, yeah, and especially Vicario. Chang Vicario, his passing is regressed rather than progressed. So what are they doing at the club? The goalkeeping coach? He should be working with Vicario to improve his passing. and the decision
Honest,
making as well. Who to pass to?
honestly, Queen Ellie, I think with Vicarious passing, his handling of the ball, or rather his command of the box, when we are up against it, against set pieces and corners and dead ball situations. I think he has to have more communication with his back line. And against Liverpool, unfortunately, when you have a centre back pairing of Ben Davies and Kevin Danso, that is just only going to invite trouble. And I think that was compounded by the fact that we had Archie Gray in defensive midfield and
Yeah,
not Bentancur or Pape Matasar or even Bissouma. When you put Ben Davies, Kevin Danso, and Archie Gray together, that just spells trouble. And I think we just invited it upon ourselves. Uh, I
yeah,
I mean, I did say this time and time and time again on these Sunday morning shows with Jose since I think episode 3 or 4, when we pretty much booked passage into the semi-finals after the away win against Frankfurt. And I still am honestly curious to this very day. Why aren't we playing the youth players? Why aren't we playing players that have something to prove, something to give the coaching staff food for thought as to why they should be considered for this couple of remaining league games, or even the second leg away against Bodo. But it seems that Big Ange is doing what Arteta did against Bournemouth late yesterday evening, when they knew that they have a monumental game away against PSG in France, and yet they still played their full strength team. I really do hope that something changes for us today. Something has to change later this afternoon, because otherwise, then we run the risk of picking up unnecessary niggles or injuries before the match day. Squad has even boarded a plane for the long flight out to Norway. So again, I said it for the last 2 or 3 shows here on Jose and Chang, that if Vicario isn't doing well between the sticks in goal, whether it's in Europe or in the domestic league, give Kinski a chance. I really thought that Kinski would have a chance to redeem himself from that hash of a second leg of the League Cup semi-final against Liverpool. But instead, it's same old, same old. We still get Vicario in goal. He's still making the same, mistakes, passing out from goal, or even his inability to command our own penalty box. And if that doesn't change, I think we could be in for a very, very torrid time at the Olympic Stadium against West Ham this afternoon. I really do. And for his sake, for the sake of the players that are taking to the pitch for our 2 p.m. kickoff, I really do hope something changes, because otherwise we will be staring at 4 consecutive league defeats since losing away to Wolverhampton Wanderers 3 weeks ago. So I really hope it's not going to be 4 league defeats on the bounce, because
yeah.
that would really have a very big detrimental effect on our morale going away to Norway. But I could be wrong. I really could be wrong, and I do hope that we stop the rot, because the rot has to stop somewhere. So why not it be today of all days against the Hammers and their cup final? And yeah, without
I
further ado,
like that.
back to you, Queen Ellie.
That's 3 times you mentioned it's their cup final, and it really is their cup final. But this Kiwi Spurs TV says, "Big up, my guys." Yeah, I just wanted to bring up the point about, yeah. Listen, Archer saying good morning all. Hello, Archer. Welcome to the chat. Nice pure coys. Welcome, welcome. Big up Ellie Chang in the chat. Good morning, Ellie from Wayne Francois 23. Good morning to you. Paul G. Morning, Ellie Chang in the chat. Come on, you Spurs. Yes. Matty K. Woo! Our teenage boy. Come on, you Spurs. He's a very passionate boy. I love him. Thanks, Ellie, for helping me out the other day. Don't worry, Matty. I will help you anytime, anytime, my friend. And Shem Tansan, I heard the selfies were staged because of one of their sponsors, but still bull crap. Yeah, I know. And then Wayne Francois 23, when used to play against West Ham previously, a Berbatov free kick, Gareth Bale goal, we can win. That's it. That's when we won 3-2. It was such a great game, that game. I remember it with fondness. It was brilliant. And that Gareth Bale goal, oh, it was
I
amazing.
think, I honestly think that those were actually two separate games, if memory serves
Oh,
me
yeah,
right. The
Berbatov.
first one about
Yeah,
the
through the free
Berbatov free
kick, I
kick,
think we won
that was the
4-3.
one where Stalteri, if you remember Paul
Was it
Stalteri, right at the very
Paul
death.
Stalteri scored the winner?
Yes,
Yeah,
correct. When we were on a breakaway, the foe got the shot away, and I think it was
yes, it's
Robert
true.
Green. Robert Green spilled the shot, and it fell very kindly for Paul Stalteri to mop up,
I
and we
know. I
won
think that was the only
all
goal
three
he
on the
ever
day.
scored.
And
Yeah,
Berbatov's free kick was exquisite. I mean, we did see Carlos Tevez. I believe Carlos Tevez did something similar in the first half when he put them 2-0 up ahead
yeah,
at halftime. But we came roaring back. We came roaring back with a Jermaine Defoe goal and also an Aaron Lennon equalizer. But
yeah, that's right.
when I think it was it Bobby Zamora. Bobby Zamora then put them 3-2 ahead. I think sometime in the 70th minute before that Berbatov equalizer. And
That was a brilliant free kick.
when we broke forward with
Yeah,
Lennon and Defoe leading the charge, I had my hand over my eyes. I couldn't believe that we had one last gasp to win the game. And lo and behold, the right man at the right time, at the right place, Paul
yeah.
Stalteri, uh, with the winner. And then the second one, the Gareth Bale screamer. I mean, that was the season.
Oh
That
my
was the
God.
season where he was just scoring for fun. Gareth Bale
Yeah,
literally scored for
he was.
fun wherever we went, and he really was the battering ram. He was the battering ram that really broke defenses down. And that away game, one of the last games, I believe it was one of the very very last games against West Ham over at Upton Park, their old ground. Yeah, one of the last league games at Upton Park. Was, I think, I can't even remember the year, but I remember it was under AVB. That's all I remember. I remember
Yeah,
AVB at the helm, and yeah, that was a game to remember. So
yeah,
hopefully, fingers crossed, we will have something else different to remember about
yeah.
with our 2
We've,
p.m. kickoff. Having said that, a very good morning to you, to your niece,
oh,
Miss
lovely.
Angela Louisu.
Hello, Drew
Uh,
Love. Welcome. Morning to my beautiful aunt, the young Chang, and big up the Cockerel crew. Yes, the Cockerel crew, always loyal to our Jose, to you, Chang. And now I'm going to get back to streaming. I'm going to try my best to do as many as I can. And then we got Wayne Francis. Good morning, all. Yes. Wayne Bonner. Hello, Wayne Bonner. Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all well. Looking forward to whacking the hammers 3-0 today. And come on, you Spurs. Mentioning that 3-0, right? We've had some fabulous games against West Ham. And one that sticks out in my memory, but for the right reasons and the wrong reasons, right? Is when we were 3-0 up against them and there was only 7 or 8 minutes to go, and they came back and drew 3-3. I just remember it so. It was like your heart is in your mouth because when they went 3-2, you think, "Ah, the inevitable's going to happen, and they're going to get an equaliser," and they did. But
I,
we've
I,
had
I
some tremendous games against them, Chang.
I have something to say about that game, Queen Ellie, if I may. Sorry to interject, but that game actually still troubles me because I
Yes,
honestly felt that that was the beginning of the end of the Harry Kane and Son Heung-min partnership, because in that game itself you could see how big of a miss those two are when either one of them are taken out of the squad. And I also felt that that was the one game where Jose Mourinho shouldn't have brought Gareth Bale on, because the moment he brought Bale on, it was either for Kane or Son. I can't quite remember which one of them. But when he brought Bale on, the moment he brought Bale on, you just knew the dynamic up front was going to change drastically. And although Bale himself could have scored his long-awaited return goal for us when he was on loan with us, he actually struck the upright when we were leading 3-0. And had that gone in, and if we had taken a 4-0 lead, in all honesty, we might really have won some sort of silverware under Jose, when we still had, Carlos Vinicius and Lucas Moura and even Bale with us on loan. I really thought that we were onto something special. But to give up a 3-goal lead against West Ham, even though it was at home, even though it was inside an empty stadium, that just heaps all the pressure on Mourinho and his inability to see out the game. And that was the one game where I thought it was the beginning of the end for Jose Mourinho. But looking back, before COVID, and this was right after Pochettino was sacked. If you remember, Queen Ellie, the first league game that Jose Mourinho took charge of, it was also against the Hammers away.
I remember
Stadium.
it.
And I remember very, very vividly. Dele Alli on the ground, on his backside, helping the ball forward for us to open the scoring on the day. And although it was quite squeaky bum at the end, we still managed to come out 3-2 winners. And that was also the season where Amazon did that all or nothing documentary with us. And I really do hope today will be something similar with us, especially in terms of stopping the rot and getting back to winning ways. So fingers crossed, we will see a marked improvement in terms of our away form in the league, but I wouldn't be expecting any miracles. Not with Archie Gray or Ben Davies or even Kevin Danso in defense. I really hope that Big Ange does play a strong squad to avoid another humiliating defeat, much like our capitulation against the Reds at Anfield. But I think we are coming to the segment in the show where we are going to be previewing the 2 p.m. kickoff later this afternoon, Queen Ellie.
Yeah, and just before we do that, Jula says, I'm joining late. Where's our lovely Jose? Hope he's well. Well, he's got a bit of a bad throat, so he's taken the day off, and he's put me in charge with Chang. So yeah, he's just got to rest his voice, because we don't want a croaky Jose, do we? Come on, we love Jose. He's a lovely man, and he'll be back soon. Don't worry. Right. So Nita said it was pants more than shocking. I winded myself with my mouth. I winded myself with my mouth open for most of the game, cussing say on another level. True. Do you know what? I go potty mouth when I watch Spurs. Right, because normally I'm quite a calm lady. I'm quite well balanced, but when I watch Spurs, it's like I go on another level, and my mouth puts out all the expletives, and I really get angry as well, and I've smashed a few things. I know I'm Greek and we're used to smashing things, right? But it's just like it's so frustrating because we leave ourselves so open and we're so naive the way we're set up by Ange. It just does my head in. Anyway, David Clark saying, having watched football for well over 6 decades, because this is a gentleman of 70 years or plus, I'm very rarely seeing what happens to Spurs after half time. Ange's biggest weakness is his total inability to motivate his players and come out fired up. I really agree with that, David. I really do. Because there's so many matches where you just need to talk to the players to get them in the game, get their mindset so they go out on that pitch with a positive attitude. And we sort of killed over and died in so many second halves, unbelievably. The one that sticks out in my memory this season is when we lost to Brighton. Yeah, because we were so in control of that match, right? And then we just capitulated in the second half. Yeah, and you could see it. If they got an early goal, you have to game manage, right? And in-game management is part of management as well. You know, when you see things going wrong, you have to put them right, and you've got to make substitutions before it happens. If I can see it happen, if Chang can see it happen, if thousands and thousands of Spurs fans all around the world, millions of us, right, can see it, how comes our coaching staff who are supposed to be so elite, yeah, can't see it? It just frustrates me. Right, Leafy Tales is saying Galimera, that's a good one because that's Greek for good morning, everybody. If you didn't know already, then we got Archer. Woo! I I I threw a lighter at the wall, normally missing my TV when their equaliser for 3-3 went in. Yeah, you see, that was the West Ham game. Oh my God, it was such a shocker, but I could see it coming. And like you said, when he brought on Bell, it took the dynamics away from our front line, and we were giving up possession, and they just took full advantage and got back to 3-3. But listen, we don't want to harp on about all these bad things that have happened to Spurs. But Wayne Bonner saying, I remember that game, me and another Spurs fan there, table full if hammers next to us.
Table full
Oh,
of
table
hammers.
full of hammers next to us. As soon as they got their first or second, he turned to me and said, "You know what's coming right now?" To which I said, "Yep, yeah," because it was you could see it, you could see it, right? And do you know what? That's been our downfall a lot of the time, a lot of the time. Good to see you again, Ellie. Been a while. Yeah, I've sort of stayed off YouTube for a little while, right? Because I've got my hubby. He's not very well, and I've just been just been chilling, and like Spurs have been depressing me as well. Sometimes I don't, when I'm not a fan that just wants to come on when it's good, right? I'm a fan that will go with the bad and go with the not so good and go with the very very good. But I'm just like in the doldrums, and the only thing we've had this season to cheer us up is the Europa Cup. So I'm very much hoping that we get through against Bodo, and it looks like we're going to be playing Man United. So we'll get to that later anyway. But Cole Simpson, welcome. I love Cole Simpson, the funniest man ever. Honestly, right? Dangerous leaving Chang and Ellie in charge. Hope he has a channel when it gets back. Yeah,
Uh,
I,
to,
I,
to
I
be
beg
fair,
to
Mr. Simpson,
disagree.
Today should have been episode 9 of Jose and Chang, but because Jose is unwell, so he will have to sit this one out. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Jose himself would be back next Sunday, same time, same place, where we should be doing our 10th episode, assuming that today is still going to be episode number 9 of Jose
Yeah,
and Chang, despite it being only Ellie and Chang today. But nevertheless, I still am looking forward to Jose's return, and hopefully by then, by next Sunday, we would be licking our lips at the prospect of lifting silverware against either one of United or Bilbao. So
yeah.
let's just wait and see. Let's just wait and see what glad tidings we may have coming soon in 7 days' time, Mr. Simpson.
I know. Bilbao will have to do a Liverpool when they beat Barca 4-0 after trailing 3-0.
To be, I mean, if I may have something very quick to say on that, I know this is a Spurs channel, and I'm not all that bothered about what happens in the other semi-final, but I thought Bilbao were quite hard done by the red card. The red card that completely affected them, really just threw them off their game. And
Yeah,
I didn't think that United were at the top of their game on the day. So probably we might see something different. between United and Bilbao in the return leg at Old Trafford. But I mean, if Olympic Lyon could go there to Old Trafford and still, find a way to lead for the majority of the team of the game, despite playing with 10 men. You never know. You can never write Bilbao off. So that would be something interesting to be looking out for. But all eyes and attention would still be on us, and whether or not we will be able to squeak past Bodo at Norway on this coming Thursday. So having said that, back to you, Queen Ellie, and on with the show.
Yeah, I agree with Carl to some extent what he said here. The sad thing is, Ellie, I don't even get angry anymore, just demoralised a little this season, just can't get up for it. I can sympathise with you, Carl, but you know what? Being a Spurs fan, we know there's ups and downs in every season that we've played. I mean, if you go back to the 60s, we were fantastic. Early 70s, we were fantastic. Early 80s, we were fantastic. And then early 90s, we kicked it off with an FA Cup win. And then Levy's era came. And then ever since then, we haven't really competed unless you can count the Potts years and the Harry years, where we've been in the doldrums, really, as a club, right? We've had moments in Levy's era, right, reaching the Champions League final being the pinnacle. So I can understand, but what we've got to understand as Spurs fans, we've got to go highs and lows, highs and lows. But where you lose your emotion, I think you've got to check that out, Carl, because I'm not telling you how to feel, but sometimes you've got to reignite that stomach feeling, that heart feeling, and bring it out again, right? Because every Spurs fan, if we just go into that lull where we're just accepting of it, we've got to not be accepting of it and like urge our club to do better, because at the end of the day, we don't want to be sitting 15th, right? And we don't want to just be thinking, oh, the Europa Cup is going to save our season. We want to have a season that's credible and where we've been competitive, right? And the only time we've been competitive under Levy is when Poch was in charge and when Harry was in charge, but even more so with Poch because he took us to new levels. So we can reach that again if we unite as a fan base and we get behind the team, but only if we see the team are trying, right, and we see progression. That's what we want to see. We want to, because we've regressed in terms of our league position. We finished fifth last season, right, and we had a lot of injuries as well. But you can't use that as an excuse because we're Tottenham Hotspur. We're supposed to be top six, right, minimum. All right, anything less, I'll get your point, Carl. It's hard to get up for it, all right. But we've got this Europa Cup. If we can get that over the line and then have a new era under Paratici and bring in a manager that's forward thinking and makes us play and be solid as well as be an attractive football team to watch, because that's the Spurs kudos. We are noted for our fantastic football. Yeah, so I do get you. I do get you. It is hard, but I'll just urge you, Carl, just to get that feeling back again. All right. So Smithison spoke to him yesterday on the phone. What a lovely man. Queen Ellie and Mr. Chang with a big love heart. Lovely. And Wayne Bonner saying, I always get up for it, Carl, but my God, I'm glad I don't have to swear jar. Yeah, you'll be a rich man, Wayne. If you're in my house, you'll be a millionaire. Right, Carl Simpson saying, Wayne, to be fair, my wife don't like football and she gives me the yeah, I get that. And Rinketic Sport Agenda. Woo! Hi, Ellie and Chang. Yeah. So, Chang, Oh, right, Nita. Go on, you read this one, Chang.
So Nita is saying the Brighton game was the killer for me this season. That's when we got exposed. Our players are not playing for the badge. Can't wait for the season to be done. And I do have something to say on this as well, if I may, Queen Ellie. That Brighton game away, when we were leading, I think we were leading 2-0 away.
Yeah.
And I was doing a watch along with Mr. Colin Sievers over on, it's either,
Big up,
I think it
Colin.
was, yeah, I don't think it was an Tel. I think it was on his channel, you know, and when we were leading 2-0, I think I even jumped onto Jacob Walraven's live watch along to do a halftime analysis with him, and
Big up, Jacob.
I said to Jacob that if, and this is a big if back then, if Brighton do score early and we fail to keep the floodgates from opening, we may be in for a completely different second half. And the moment they got their first goal, I think it was as early as the 4th or 5th minute from kickoff, you just know what was coming. Much like the capitulation against the Hammers at the empty Tottenham Hotspur Stadium when we were leading 3-0. That game away against Brighton was just a complete mismanagement in terms of seeing out the game, even with a 2-0 lead going into the second half. And I really hope that if we do find ourselves in a similar position later on this afternoon, that Big Ange would have the common sense to know how to manage us properly so that we don't lose space and, more importantly, lose momentum going into Thursday night. Having said that,
I
on
want
with
the
the show.
Frankfurt game away all over again. Yeah, Chang,
So,
just to pick up on that, I want the Frankfurt game all over again. The way we played against Frankfurt was very disciplined, and it was not Ange style, right? Because we got our goal, and it was a rightful penalty. It was a penalty. We got that goal, and how beautifully Solanke took that penalty was fantastic, and it set the tone for the rest of the match because it gave us confidence, and they came at us, and we defended our goal like Trojans, right? So we got lucky a few times, but in football, you need a little bit of luck, right? Especially when Christensen missed those two really good chances, right? But I think if those chances had got in, I still think we would have won. I know a lot of people said we would have capitulated, but I thought we held tight and we were disciplined and we played as a team for once. You know, there was no selfishness in our play. It was all for one and one for all. And I really did like that game, the way we played, because it showed that we can grind out results if we put our mind to it. And I think the players took it on themselves to play that style. I don't think it was a directive from Ange Postecoglou. I think the players have all, not all the credit, because you've got to give some credit to Ange, but I thought the players thought, right, we've got to get this result to save our season, because it was all or nothing, really. If we'd gone out then, what would we be doing now? We'd be talking about the West Ham game in a whole different manner, because it matters now to bring up momentum, to get the winning mentality back into the team, and to go into that Bodo game with more energy and more fire. If we get the win against West Ham, even if we play a weakened team, we've got to go in with a positive attitude. Yeah. So my niece Jula, she's come in again. She said, "Good to see you back doing what you love, Auntie Ellie, talking all things football." Yeah, because I love football, right? And I'm in the chats because there's so many WhatsApp groups, Chang. From experience, like the WhatsApp groups are just as good as the YouTube live. It's just chatting, and lots of videos are sent, and lots of people talking about our history, the older section of our community. You know, they're disappointed that we're not winning cups, and the younger people like Matty Kay, you know, he wants to see trophies like Ben Kaufman of the Calfee Coffee Company. Yeah, it's something they want to see, and they deserve it because they're such loyal lads going to matches, supporting the team when we've been down. Yeah, that's the true sign of a fantastic supporter when things are not going well and you're still turning out for the team, supporting them and cheering them on. You know, that's what we want in our fan base: young, middle-aged people and old people uniting and getting behind the team so that we can progress and get to this European final, right? And really push, and whoever we play, we've got to beat. There's 11 men we're going to be facing us. We've got to beat, if it's Bilbao 11 or Man United 11. We go out there and play the game, not the occasion. Because when we got to the Champions League final, Chang, we played the occasion, and it was unfortunate that that thing happened in the first minute with Sissoko. But moving on, Shemtan's going Jose
This
Alternate.
Jose out, Ellie in. Jose out,
Oh,
Ellie in.
Jose out, Ellie. Oh my God, no, we'll always want Jose as well. Honestly, Tel Cockerel, Ellie always had a home here. Yeah, you see, I'm always on Tel Cockerel anyway. And when it was talk and ball before Tel went his separate way, and Colin went his separate way, we always had that camaraderie. And even when we were on Chris's show before, we had that special bond. And you know what? I love being on this channel because it's such a it's different. Yeah, it's a different channel from a lot of other channels. Yeah, we've lost Chang for a little bit. We'll get him back. So I just love Jose as well. He's such a not just because he's well balanced about Spurs' opinion and he doesn't go over the top. I just think his opinions on football and the way he talks to you all in the chat is commendable. And having Chang join the channel as well was superb. It was like getting signing Harry Kane again from Bayern Munich. That's how great it is to have Chang on this channel because you know your football and you're passionate about Spurs, and the way you always got a positive outlook on how Spurs can progress. You know, you do point out the things that are wrong with our club as well. You don't hold back on that, but you're a very positive guy, and that's what we need in our fan base. We need some positivity as well as criticism, because if we're criticizing our team all the time, it's not good for your mentality either. You've got to get out of it and try and get behind the team. And you know, there's obviously when you see bad, call it out. Yeah, of course. When you see players not playing for the badge, call it out, of course. Yeah. Anyway, the Liverpool fans here, congratulations on your title, well deserved. And we love you because you beat Arsenal to it, the Bottle Job FC. So Lee Wizkid saying, morning Jose, Chang, Ellie and chat. Yes, come on. You know what? We've got to move on now. So the statement victory against Bodo. Yeah. I want you to kick this off, Chang, because I want you to give me what your thoughts are going into the match, and how you think we're going to fare.
So I think I need to touch a bit on the Thursday night game first, the first leg against Bodo, because this is in many ways a statement victory, not only for Big Ange and his ambitions to win a trophy every second season wherever it goes,
Come
but
on.
also for us as a club moving forward, we still want silverware regardless of how bad we are doing in the league or anywhere else in domestic cups. And honestly, I couldn't have hoped for us to even be in one semi-final this season, given the way we've been performing. For us to be to even be in 2 semi-finals is a big achievement, even though you don't win any silverware or trophies for that. And this first leg victory against Bodo was a bit of a big statement win, particularly given how Bodo gave Lazio a real run for their money in the quarterfinal before that. And you could see why Bodo were deserved winners in that semi-final, especially going a goal down in extra time. They still were able to draw level and win the tie on aggregate. And they even did that when they were down to 10 men for the majority of that second half of extra time against Lazio. So for us to win 3-1 is quite a statement in itself. And the goals, I would say this about the goals. I did watch the majority of the second half. I was still sound asleep for the first half when it kicked off at 3 a.m. on a Friday morning. But the Brennan Johnson goal was created by Richarlison's header. It floated across, and Johnson was left unmarked to just mop it up as he usually does whenever things fall kindly his way. And is that what his 13th? Is it his 13th or his 14th goal for us now in all competitions? That is saying something for Brennan Johnson, despite
I think
him
he
being.
scored 17. I think.
Wow, 17! Wow,
I
that's
think
even more
so.
than I expected. Okay, so I'm sure someone here will correct me in the chat, but
I think he's
for
17.
Johnson, all I know is Queen Ellie is that Johnson is our current leading goal scorer in this season, and that's
Yeah.
saying a lot, despite a lot of us having so many question marks about his signing when Big Ange gave the green light for him to be signed. So good, there was a good goal, and it really set the tempo for the rest of the game. And I mean, the Madison goal was a beauty in itself. The way Porro just pinged one from the back, and it was taken down with such finesse and such guile that you would have had that been a Harry Kane or a Son goal, we would have been going on about it. But because it's a Madison goal, it's good to see him back on the score sheet. And I really do hope that gives him that much needed impetus to spearhead our midfield going forward, because we've been given the news that Bergvall would unfortunately have to miss the remainder of this season, despite him. I think he signed an extension, or rather he signed on a permanent for the next 6 years until 2021. So it would appear that James Maddison has a serious competition on his hands. But I'm glad that Maddison got his much deserved goal, the second of the evening. And when I looking back in real time, I didn't think there was much contact by the Bodo defender on Romero. But if the referee and VAR deems that it was a penalty to the letter of the law, then a penalty it was, and Solanke stepped up, and we got our third. And I still am a bit surprised, though, to be honest, that we didn't see Kulusevski or even Odebeer come on a whole lot sooner before Solanke got his spot kick on. But it's good to see. It's good to see Tel, Kulusevski, and Odebeer come on in the second half. But again, I felt that the moment Solanke came off, and it was just Richarlison by himself alone up top, that the game went a bit flat for us. So I really do hope that's not something that will happen again later on this afternoon. Because as much as I love Richarlison, as much as I'm sure Smithy here would love to see more of the prue from him from between now to the end of the season, I still have my doubts with regards to Richarlison in terms of our long-term plans with or without him. So this is something that Big Ange will have to manage and work on if we do find ourselves in the final in a month's time from now. But yeah, more of the same, please. More of the same today. Less of the drama, if I may say so, when it comes to seeing out the tie, because that's 83rd minute goal. The 83rd minute goal by Bodo, that was pretty much against the run of play. Although it was a deflected shot, or rather it was a very wicked deflection of Bentancur that looped over Vicario. You could just tell the way we were just allowing them to pretty much waltz into the penalty box that something would have to give sooner or later on the day. And I really do hope both Romero and Van der Ven, they tidy up their act going into the second leg. And yeah, that's all I have to say on this tie. We will still have to preview West Ham in about a minute's time or so, because we only have about 20 minutes left of this episode 9 of Jose and Chang. But other than that, my final thoughts, that was a much deserved victory. More of the same, please. Come Thursday night against Bodo, and let's go for the final. Let's go for it. We have a final. We have one foot in the final. We just cannot afford to take our foot off the gas. So yeah, I would still love to see an unchanged side from the team that played on Thursday night. The only exception maybe being Porro. I would still love to see Spence ahead of Porro when we travel away to Norway against Bodo for the second leg, because as much as I love Porro and his assists for Madison in the first leg, I still think he is susceptible when it comes to defending. So I would still rather have a Spence in right back. But other than that, that's all I have to say on that. And without further ado, it's back to you, Queen Ellie, to
I just
get on
like
with
to add.
it.
I thought just like to add on the statement victory. I thought we lost our momentum once Madison went off, because I thought he would shore up the midfield and put Pape Matar on a lot earlier, because um, it was just we were losing a little bit in terms of possession, because if you look at the possession stats, they had more possession than us. And I know sometimes possession doesn't lead to goals, but we were losing the momentum of our play. As soon as Madison went off, the creativity, and we haven't got another creative midfielder. So I would have thought it would be better. This is my own personal, but I would have thought it would be better to bring on Archie Gray and play him at right back and push Porro up to join the midfield. He plays more or less from midfield anyway. Porro, he normally comes out from the back and occupies that inside, like, inverted midfielder role, so he can play that role. So I thought that would have been much better, because Archie Gray is quite dependable as a right back as well. He's even more defensive minded than Porro. So or bring Spence on instead of Archie Gray, who's got a bit more. He knows how to bring the ball out more, and we would have had more possession. So I thought that would have been two better substitutions than the substitutions we made. I thought Odebear's substitution was unnecessary, because we were already 2-0 up and we needed to get another goal. When the penalty came 3-0, then he made this. I thought it was silly substitutions. Right? I thought that would have been much better to bring on Spence or Archie Gray, but more so, I would say, in hindsight, I'd say more Spence than Archie. Yeah, because he's a bit more experienced. He's better in defence as well, and he's better at bringing the ball. And we would have held on to the ball a lot more. Yeah, so that would have been my take on it. But in the end, we got the penalty, made it 3-0. We gave a silly goal away, which we always do. It's Spursy thing to do. But now we go. Do you know what? That them getting that goal, it could work in our favour as well, because hear me out on this one, right? We're going to go there, not too complacent. We'll go there with an attitude that we got to get a goal, but if we get that goal, it's going to probably seal the tie, right? But now we're going to go there and we're going to think, right, we've got to make sure we don't give anything away early, or concede first. Yeah, because we're always got in the back of the mind, if they get a goal, it's 3-2, and then they only need another goal to level the tie. So I think it may work in our favour because they'll be more on their guard, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it can swing both ways, but I'm just thinking that goal might have done us a favour because we're not going to go there too cocky and like we've got the tie tied up, and we're gonna have that attitude to get the win over the line. So come on, let's do it. Come on, you Spurs. Let's get to that final. It'd be so great. All our fans in Spain drinking the Spanish beer, and I'm sure Jose might make a trip over there as well, hopefully, to support the lads. Yeah, we need fans like Jose and yourself, Chang. Would you be going to the match if we get to the final, Chang? Have you saved up your pennies?
I have saved whatever I can right now just to stay afloat. I
Yeah,
mean, if whatever happened to me didn't happen to me in the past 14 months, maybe, just maybe, I might have been able to save up enough to even consider booking a flight over to Spain, regardless of whether or not I get a match day ticket into the grounds.
yeah,
Just being there with with the rest of the fans, soaking up the atmosphere in the pub or a
yeah.
beer outside the grounds, that would be fantastic. But
Amazing.
that will have to wait. Unfortunately, that will have to wait. And yeah, we will also have to get on with the show
Yeah.
because
Return.
we have to say something about Don Paratici now. I know
Yeah.
for a fact that this is just still only rumors and that there is no sort of a confirmation yet from Fabrizio Romano or from the club or from any, I wouldn't say it's a reliable source, but a tangible source, a source that is very, very, closely connected to media outlets, something like, I don't know, one of those London football reporters or Football London reporters or anyone from Sky. But if and this is a big if it is confirmed that Paratici is indeed back in the hot seat in terms of our scouting and our recruitment, I honestly feel that it could signal the end for Big Ange, regardless of whether he does lift the Europa League in a month's time. But there could also be the possibility that Paratici may have to work hand in hand with Big Ange, regardless of whether Scottman or Johan Lange still is with us when Paratici takes over. So this is something that will be interesting to to follow up. And
Yeah.
I so very much welcome John Paratici's return. The scouting has gone stale, to be perfectly honest with you, Queen Ellie, since he's had to take a back seat because of all those allegations and whatever whatever bans he's been having to serve. But yeah, it would be such a great addition to have back in the fold as far as our scouting is concerned. And I really do hope that Paratici returning does signal the end for the likes of Brian Hill or Richarlison or even Manor Solomon. Despite Manor Solomon scoring that all important goal for Leeds United late yesterday evening, that meant that Leeds United finished top of the championship. So welcome back, Manor Solomon, to the Premiership. Whether it's with Spurs or with Leeds United, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm sure Paratici has something to say about that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think Jose himself is saying it best here. He's saying that they will not announce the dawn until the season ends or when the Europa trail ends. As soon as it's announced, then it's clear that the boss leaves. And I can't agree more with Senor Garcia on this. I think that Paratici and his and the end of his ban on the 25th of June in
Yeah.
just over months' time from now, that will have a very, very big impact on Big Ange leaving or staying. I do hope that Ange will still be with us by pre-season, because that means that he will have really won the Europa League for us. Although I think that Paratici might have a big, big, big say in a lot of the signings and even the outgoings for that matter. So let's just see where this leads us. But until then, until Paratici is officially unveiled, I'm still not counting my chickens. For all I know, it might just be a ruse. It might just be, a lot of smoke and mirrors. So let's just wait to see how this develops. But if there is any substance to this, I am so glad that we are keeping hold of Paratici, and more of the signings, more of the Kulusevski and Udogi and Pepe Matasar signings, hopefully that will bolster our squad for many, many seasons to come. Having said that, back to you, Queen Ellie.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chang. Just to add a few more things, I think with Andrew's situation, it's been widely reported that he's leaving anyway. All right. That he normally, if you look at his CV as well, Chang, he normally leaves in his he does 2 seasons at clubs and then he leaves. He did the same at Celtic. He had 2 seasons there and he left. All right, and he left on a high. And it's his trait to win a trophy in his second season and then leave a club. So it won't be anything new that's happened in his career that he's won and left. So the big noise is that he's going to leave regardless if we appoint Don Paratici. But Paratici, if he does come in, he's going to bring his own man in. So that's curtains for Ange regardless. So he's not going to want Ange there. And Scott Monago, Lang's gone. So he'll be, he said, I saw reports that he wants to be fully in charge of all recruitment. So he's going to be the ultimate Don, with the balls in the side of his mouth, glasses on, mobile phone, yeah, doing all the deals for us. So, yeah, see, with Pat Paratici, he splits the fan base as well, because a lot of people are on board with him, a lot of people are not on board with him because he's brought in good and bad. All right, so it's like most sporting directors, they don't always get it right all of the time, right? So, what we want to do is, if he is appointed, he's got to work doubly hard this time to bring in even better quality players and ready-made players as well. Because I don't, Paratici, he does like the ready-made players with experience, because he brought us Kulu. All right, Kulu was young at the time, but he had a lot of experience behind him because he was already playing for Juventus and he went out in loan in various European countries. And Bentancur was a seasoned professional internationally as well. They were seasoned professionals both for Sweden and Uruguay. So yeah, we need more of that type of signing, but we need even better, yeah, than Kulu and Bentancur. Because although they've been fabulous for us up to a point, once Kulu and Bentancur got their injuries, especially Bentancur, you could see he's not the same player. So we need upgrading in that area. And I'm sure the Don will have his little black book with all the names that he's potentially looking at. And he's one that puts a lot of names in the book in lots of different areas. He doesn't identify just one player for each spot. He'll go for 5, 6, 7 players, and then he'll get one over the line. But this time, let's get the best out over the line rather than the second or the third best. Because if you get the best, right, and you're competing then with the best in the Premiership, you can't go for the second, third. All right, get the second best, yeah, but not the third, fourth, fifth, sixth best. No, then we won't progress as a club. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do. If the rumours are true that he is signing and his ban finishes on the 25th of June, we're going to see a whole new look Spurs. And I'm quite excited, but I'm also reserving my excitement as well. Like Carl said, you can't always get excited Spurs because they do let us down quite often. right? So let's see if we can win this Europa Cup. We need to build this time because when we won the League Cup in 2008, we regressed until Poch and Harry came in. We had a lull, so we didn't build on that momentum of getting a trophy over the line. So this time we've got to learn from our mistakes. We've got to put a bit of Bill Nicholson's philosophy into our game as well, and think we've got to be the best, not the second best, right? Because at the moment we're sitting 15th in the league, and the league is our bread and butter. It shows how good you are as a club, not the European Cup, not the domestic cups, the league. That's where your bread and butter is made, right? And it makes a statement if you are competitive in the league. Right, okay, we've only won the league twice in our whole history. But look at Man City. That I think they'd only won it once before um, their big money came in, and then they started changing the ethos of the club, and they brought the club to a new level never seen in England. 4 league championships on the trot. So if they can do it, why can't we? We've got a bigger name than Manchester City. We've got a better history than them. So let's take that, learn from our history, bring it forward, and move forward and make ourselves great again. Not just making up the numbers. Yeah, that's my war talk. Come on. Right, and then, now David Clark saying Giuseppe Morata was the cog in the Juventus success when Paratici took over his job. He had many failures at Juventus, and I can list a host of players he purchased for Juventus who were failures. That's it. But do you know what, David? He has to learn from the mistakes he made there because he did some good there as well. You can't get away from that. He did a lot of good for Juventus as well, right? Everybody makes mistakes in life. If you learn from your mistakes, you move forward and you better yourself, right? That's what we want to see from everybody, not just Paratici. We want to see it from Levy. We want to see if he's staying and he's not selling the club. We want it if new owners come. We want to see a new vision, yeah. And under Levy, we want to see a new vision as well. We want to see more money pumped into the football side on all aspects of our game. Yeah. And from the grassroots to the academy to everything has to improve.
Okay, I just have to say something very quickly to this question here by Rinkatik.
Yes.
Greetings, Rinkatik. A very good Sunday morning to you, if it is already Sunday morning for you, whoever it is you are in Katik. He's asking us, Chang and Ali, would you give Conte or Mourinho 2 full seasons with Paratici if Liverpool has to say yes to everything? Well, I think this actually depends really on the kind of signings that we're able to
I
get
love
over the
that
line.
question. Brilliant
Because
question.
if memory serves me right, and I'm just going to name one example, which is Conte. Conte was able to get Richarlison amongst a few other players over the line when he took charge of his first full season, having succeeded Nuno the season before. But a lot of those signings, the Pepe Matassars, the Destiny Udogis, they were not ready yet. They were not ready yet, and not only were they not ready, they didn't even have the time to break into the team because Conte didn't even last a full season. So, if I were to give Conte or Mourinho 2 full seasons with Paratici, that will only work theoretically if we get players that are ready made for the first 11 and not just players that we're going to send out alone. And even Jose is adding something here. Conte would never come back, and Mourinho is not a Paratici pick, which I think is in itself uh, you know a big indictment as to how Levy has run this club into the ground, to the point where Conte, who is on the brink too of winning a league title with I think it's Napoli this time over in Serie
Yes.
A, with only three. They only have 3 more league games to go to seal the Serie A title over Champions League semi-finalist Inter Milan. So all the best to Paratici. Not Paratici, sorry. All the best to Conte if he does win the Serie A with Napoli. And as with regards to Mourinho, I doubt it he's going to want to return anytime soon. The way we treated Mourinho, the way we dumped him a few days before the League Cup final, I think that was the lowest of lows from Levy as far as sacking any manager that has ever been sacked under him. That was the single strangest sacking I've ever seen. But we move on, and we really do have to move on, Queen Ellie, because I might have to leave any minute now for my dinner
I'll
at
tell you
6
what we're
p.m.
doing. I'll tell you what we do. We'll put out to the chat what are the score predictions for the Bodo game and the West Ham game. First, the West Ham game. What are your score predictions for the West Ham game and then the Bodo game? How do you think we're going to fare, everybody in the chat? Let us know. Put in your score predictions so we can read them out. And yeah, Chang, how long have you got?
I may have to leave any minute now, depending on how soon I am going to get the call for dinner. But I'm just going to try and bulldoze now as fast as I can through what's left of the show. So the banner earlier, all change for West Ham. Now, against Bodo, we had the tried and tested centre-back pairing of Romero and Van der Ven. I feel that they should be given a rest and that we should stick with Ben Davies and Kevin Danso for the 2 p.m. kickoff against West Ham. Although I still feel that Archie Gray isn't fully ready to take up the mantle of centre defensive midfield by himself, given that Bergvall is out for the rest of the season. As such, if we do stick with Ben Davies and Kevin Danso in midfield, we should at least have one of Bissouma or Pape Matasar in front of Danso and Davies. Personally, I would love to see Bissouma pick up from where he left off against Bodo. And if it means sticking with Udogi at left back, then maybe we might even see Archie Gray start over Spence and Porro at right back. But yeah, my back four would consist of Ben Davies and Kevin Danso. And in front of them, there would be one of Bissouma or Pepe Matasar to partner possibly Bentancur and Madison in midfield. Archie Gray can start at right back for all I care, if it means giving Porro and Spence a rest. But we might even have to see Spence start at left back ahead of Udogi, which then leaves the goalkeeper, the goalkeeping position. I have been saying it for many a week now, for almost a month since Vicario started flapping away against Wolverhampton Wanderers at the Molineux. And I think it's high time that Kinski got a run in the team at his expense, just to shakes just to give Vicario a rest. Hopefully Vicario will be back for us on Thursday night. So possibly Kinski to start in goal. And as far as our forwards are concerned, Richarlison should be starting ahead of Solanke. I really feel that Solanke has done enough for us in the past few games, so we cannot afford to lose Solanke ahead of Thursday night. Richarlison to start for us up front, if it means Tel on the right and possibly Odebeer on the left, or maybe it's Tel on the left and Odebeer on the right. If Johnson does start, then possibly we will have to contend with more of the same from Liverpool away. Although I still am holding out for an away win, which is why I am going to be sticking with my 2-1 away win. I am hoping that we win this game just so we can stop the rot. We can break that sequence of 3 consecutive defeats with a victory in the Hammers Cup final. And I am backing one of either Richarlison or Tel to score 1 goal for us from the forwards department, and possibly another goal from midfield if it means Madison or not Bergval, Sar or Bissouma or even Bentancur to get the other goal for us, all the better.
Yeah.
I just want us to avoid defeat. After all is said and done, in this show and in shows past, I just want us to not have, or rather to not chalk up 4 consecutive league defeats if at all possible. So I will still hold up for my 2-1 away victory. And for me, I would gladly take a draw now, because I feel anything more than a point away on our travels this season would be a miracle, almost like a blessing in disguise. So yeah, I just want us to avoid 4 defeats on the trot, and let's just soak up the occasion and let us get today done and dusted before we even think, before we even consider the match day squad for Thursday away at Norway. So having said that, back to you, Queen Ellie.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think we've got to go there to win, right? And whatever team we play, we've got to finish above them as well. So we can't be getting to a European final and let West Ham finish above us in the league. That's unheard of. All right, so that's one incentive to go into this match to get the W and not the L, or even a draw. If I'd settle for a draw, but I want to get the win, because not only because it stops the rot for 4 consecutive away defeats, but it's going to be a booster for the team. And a lot of the players, right, they're playing for maybe a place in that Bodo game if they can impress, especially Spence, because I like Spence more than Udogi, and I think he deserved to get a place in the starting 11 for what he's done and how he's improved our defensive work. Um, yeah, so I like to see Spence play a worldie and put something in Postecoglou's mind that he might play him over Udogi. But I just don't see. I think he's got his favourites, Ange, and he likes Udogi and he likes Johnson. So I think they'll be starting against Bodo regardless. But I hope Spence does get on to the pitch against Bodo, because he really does deserve it, because he's been our best player in that period where we've actually got more wins when he's been in the team than we've got losses. So I just feel that he deserves a spot, because he's defensively, like I said, he's a lot better than Udogi, and he's more aware. He's just an all-round better player, in my opinion. All right, so let's see how that one pans out. Anyway, listen, everybody, put your scores into the chat. West Ham and Bodo. Bodo's going to be our biggest match of the season. We get to the final, and it'll be so exciting to end the season in Spain, in the sunny Spain. And obviously, Jose being Spanish as well, it's nice to have the final in Spain at Bilbao Stadium. And whether we play Man United or Bilbao, we've got to beat that 11 in front of us. Yeah, so there we go. Wayne Bonner's put 3-0 to Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. Is that for the West Ham game or the Bodo game? Probably the West Ham game. And then David Clark saying Conte's time at Spurs didn't prove that Conte wasn't a great coach. It proved that Spurs under Levy are a crap football club. West Ham 2, Spurs 3 are no deluded. Well, not so much, because it could be that scoreline, David. But I get your point about Levy. Like Niall Kane saying, hello, Niall, how you doing? The man from Montrose. Yes. And Tigaro, welcome, Tigaro. Evening all. Hope everyone is happy, safe, and well. Big up and come on, you Spurs. Put in your score predictions, Tigaro, for the West Ham and Bodo game. Come on, we like to see that. Side dancer, THFC 83. Morning, everyone. Morning. Side dancer saying 2-2 at West Ham. Yeah, that'd be a good result. As long as we don't lose. And John, blinded by Ange Ball. West Ham, a must-win. 3-0 Spurs. Bodo, let's do a 0-0 draw. Do you know what? That'll do me. That really will do me. A 0-0 draw at Bodo. That means we go through to the final. Can't be losing to the 17th place West Ham. West Ham, sorry. Cup run is good, but can't ignore league form for the sake of it. True. Because the league is our bread and butter, isn't it, Chang? Need to
Yeah,
say
the
the
league.
draw
I mean,
today.
the league has always been our bread and butter, and I honestly feel that we have to improve by leaps and bounds next season. Because this season has been one to forget. So I really do
Yeah.
hope that we start building momentum, because after today, we only have another 3 more league matches after today. Those being against, let me see now, we have Palace. We also have
Aston Villa.
Brighton and Villa.
Yeah.
Yes, we have
So
2
2 home
more
games and 1 away
2 home
game.
games against Palace and Brighton, and a final away day against Villa on the penultimate week of this season. So let's just get next season up and running in today's London derby, and who knows, we might even win again. If we do win today, we might even bring today's momentum into next Sunday's London derby against Palace at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So let's
Yeah.
just take it one match at a time. Enjoy the match day, everyone. I hope to see each and every single one of you in a week's time for episode 10 of Jose and Chang. Same time, same place. I have to take my leave now. Unfortunately, I'm already
Yeah.
10 minutes late for my dinner. But nevertheless, I will be back. I will be back on YouTube in just over 80 minutes from now, from noon over on We Are Tottenham TV. I will be doing the pre-match pump up after a 2-month absence from the show. I'm going to be doing the pre-match pump up with hopefully Miss Kate and Mr. Boxel, Mr. Jimbo. So that's something I'm looking forward to. But I have to go now. If I have to
Yes,
keep my
Chang.
strength up for the pre-match pump up. Thank you so very, very, very much for standing in for Jose today, Queen Ellie.
No
It's
worries.
been an
My pleasure.
absolute pleasure to be sharing the screen again with you. I know this is only the first time we've ever done a show together for the calendar year of 2025. Hopefully today won't be the last of
Yeah.
us, sharing the same screen again, whether it's over on LCL or anywhere else on YouTube. Do enjoy the game
Yeah.
today, Queen Ellie. I look forward to seeing you again very soon. And let's just hope, everybody, that come next Sunday, we would already have booked our place in the final of the Europa League
Yeah.
in Bilbao.
And Chang,
Come on, you Spurs!
Chang, just before you go, I hope to see you on Kate and Jimbo's show as well. The Perfect Match. Big up the Perfect Match. Everybody get over there and support our Kate and Jimbo, because Chang is part of their group as well. I was part of their group. But listen, everybody, cheer on every channel, Jose's channel. And I have to leave as well now. So we're going to wrap up the show. I've got to go and cook breakfast for everybody. And thank you very much, everybody in the chat, for joining us. Wayne says 2-0 to Spurs. That's a fantastic result, Wayne. We can always rely on Wayne, can't we? Yeah, and we've enjoyed everybody's company. Tigaro saying Hammers 2-1 and Bodo 2-2. That sees us through to the final, so that's great as well. Come on, you Spurs. Let's go. Chang, have a lovely dinner. Stay safe and be happy like you always are. And come on, you Spurs. Wrap it up, Jose. Wrap it up. Big up, Chang. First time seeing you, but top man.